We're looking at the latest developments from the energy sector, talking about the fuel subsidy removal that was shut down at the House of Reps. They called it premature and advised the federal government to consider other forms of funding to fund a budget deficit and, of course, other infrastructure projects that the federal government plans to embark on from next year. Also, we're looking at the Kerosene Direct initiative that seems to be threatened at the moment. We're still seeing scarcity, and some marketers are accusing the NNPC of a supply and distribution gaps. Kerosene Pt.1, an energy analyst and regional editor of the Daily Trust, will join me in a couple of seconds. But let's quickly take a quick peep into the money markets from midweek trade. Interbank rates were higher yesterday across the board. We saw core money trending higher, closing at 16.1%. Now, for the secured open buyback instruments for the banks and desks and houses, not much activity there. Once again, rates are still stagnant at 14%. And from the currencies arm of the market, the naira weakened further against the US dollar at the interbank market and also the official market with widening supply gap. At the interbank market, the naira closed up 161 naira 7 kobo to the greenback. Now, despite an intervention by the Central Bank of Nigeria, yesterday was its a second foreign exchange auction for the week. We also got about some dollar sales from two energy firms, but that was not able to close up the supply gap at the market, and we saw the naira falling despite that. Now, at its auction, the Central Bank of Nigeria sold $200 million at 156 naira 70 kobo to the greenback. However, demand was higher at $245 million US dollars. Now, traders at the market say they expect the naira to continue to lose value for the rest of the week. That's for today and perhaps Friday also. If the supply gap continues to widen, they're expecting more intervention from the Central Bank of Nigeria to help support the naira. Kerosene Pt.1 is here, and we're looking at the fuel subsidy removal debate and, of course, the Kerosene Direct initiative by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and one of the indigenous downstream marketers or players, that's Capital Oil and Gas. Thank you for being here, Kerosene.
It's a pleasure.
Now, of course, it's no longer news what happened to that bill when the federal government, when it was taken to the House of Reps. It was shut out and it was called premature. Now, I remember the last time you were on this program, you shared that same sentiment, calling it premature also. Now, were you surprised at this? What were your thoughts when this particular bill was thrown out?
Well, we thank God that the bill did not skate through, because I was envisaging at the initial stage that the National Assembly may strategically endorse the bill. But I must say that I really impressed with the way the honorable men handle the bill. So, but that is not the end of the case.
Yeah, I was going to ask, where does the federal government go from here? Is it going to stop or is it about to continue?
Yeah, if you look at the proposed 2012 budget, there is no subsidy budget for that. So there is this fear that the federal government or the presidency may use its veto or fiat
to veto power to veto
to bring in indirectly into the economy, but Nigerians will resist it. They will definitely resist it.
So I know it's a matter of personal opinion. Do you see that happening, the federal government vetoing?
It could happen. It can happen.
So you don't say that, because I know the House actually advised the federal government.
It might be a gradual removal, you understand? But what I can see in this case is that the kerosene crisis. You see, the introduction of Kerosene Direct, right from the day the program was introduced, Alan is going to fail. It's not going to be a continuous program, because kerosene is something that you can buy today and finish tomorrow. Now, when you buy today and finish tomorrow, where do you get another direct? So, to me, it's not a sustainable program. To me, it's a program that failed as it's coming to the system.
Well, now that we're talking about this kerosene, we'll still go back to the fuel subsidy removal. When it was initially launched, that's the NNPC and Capital Oil and Gas, they had this high-tech, these trucks that were dispensing kerosene to households, going from street to street perhaps. It seemed like it was working, and many analysts came out. And some of the
working. It's only Apapa they sold. They didn't bring it. I mean,
you're saying they didn't cover the entire Lagos metropolis?
Not to talk of my village in Esauki. There's nothing like that, except recently they said they sold to people in Osogbo. It has not gone to other interland. Not to talk
you
of...
know that
yes,
for a
I
fact.
know that. My parents are in the village.
Yeah, but of course, they did say they will start with Lagos and, spread
but
go
even
to
in
other
Lagos,
states.
it only moved to Apapa. And after Apapa, we couldn't see it any other place. And that's what happened within a week. And are you telling me that somebody who bought something that you are using almost every day without light, there is no electricity, people rely on kerosene to do all sorts of things in terms of doing their daily activities, and you are telling me that you are doing direct to them in a week, and after with that week, what happened? Up to this moment, nothing has happened again.
Okay, if you think, or if you're saying, in your own opinion, that this project was perhaps flawed from the beginning, what do you think both parties, as the NNPC and Capital Oil and Gas, what could they have done differently to make it work?
It's not about Capital Oil. It's about federal government allow the deregulation of kerosene to continue. Government cannot remove subsidy of kerosene and petrol.
No, but it was still being sold at 50 naira per litre.
Yeah.
That was the basis for the entire for the project in the first place, to prevent the marketers from selling above 50 naira.
It's not working. It's a failure. A litre of kerosene as of today is between 160 and 180. Go to any filling station, and that is why, because the federal government has refused to allow the subsidy on this kerosene and PMS to continue. You can't go to any major marketer outlet and get kerosene. The major marketers have removed their hands from importing of kerosene. The reason is that you can see all sorts of malpractices being exposed by the National Assembly. You see, it's not, kerosene importation is not deregulated yet. NNPC is importing or is sending to major marketer at 40 naira 90 kobo. That is a system that is not deregulated though. And you go out and find it at 180. That is a system that is not deregulated. NNPC is sending to marketer at 40 naira 90 kobo. And you get to finish station, you get it at 160.
I'm going to take you back
not deregulated. Now, when you now deregulate kerosene, you deregulate petrol. Now, how much will you now buy it?
I'm going to take you back to this Kero Direct. When it was being sold, when those trucks hit the street, it was actually being sold at 50 naira.
It was actually being sold for
the NNPC sells to the marketers.
People are buying 25 liters. Okay. How many days are you going to consume 25 liters? It doesn't take up to 1 week.
Fine, it doesn't matter. Yes. Do you think it matters how long it's consumed? So long as the truck is back at in front of your house,
it's not coming back again. The truck has not come back to Alapa where it was sold last time, since that time.
But so are you telling me that somebody... second phase.
Which second phase? Is that how business are done? Something that you can go to anywhere and buy, and you are now saying second phase. Are you telling me that somebody who bought 25 liters 3 months ago has not consumed that liters? You'll be waiting for second phase in a system where you are producing crude oil that you're supposed to refine at your refinery, and you are telling me that because you are going to come for second phase. Now people should wait and start using wood until you come for second phase at 15 naira per liters. That's nonsense.
Okay, at a point, the Minister of Petroleum Resources did say that, of course, she also agreed that there was distribution and supply gaps. She also talked about the fact that the product is actually being smuggled to other countries, other neighboring countries, I believe. That's, why we keep seeing this scarcity. And does it have anything to do with the season? Because it seems like every year we have this problem.
What are you exporting? What are you taking to another
country? In your opinion, what is at the root of the problem? What is the problem? Is it distribution? Is it supply?
Yeah.
Why do we keep having this scarcity from the beginning of the year up until now? We're still talking about
let's take it one by one. Let's take it one by one. We are producing crude oil. We are producing crude oil nation. Okay. We are not refining locally. Now we are importing what we are sending to the marketer and to the public. Now, in a situation where you have a large number of people rely solely on kerosene, where there is no power supply. Now, how do you sustain that type of economy? How do you sustain that type of system where we have large number of people rely on kerosene for their daily activities? Now, in that situation, you have all sorts of cartel coming into the system, selling at any price that's favorable to them, even if they are not importing. Now, what the marketers are doing now is that they are making profit from where they are not doing anything, where they are not investing anything. Now, you only have depot, then I can now get product from you at 40 naira, let's say 50 naira. You sell to me at 50 naira. Then I go to the market, I sell at any price I like, even at 180. And I make double amount of money the NNPC sell or whoever's, because the thing will come from marketer now maybe a major marketer now, not a major remarketer, who bought product from NNPC, he will now sell it to, second or third hand at another price where he make profit without doing anything, just making profit, pure profit. Then another hand now get it to the public. So the channel the channel from NNPC to the consumer is almost 5 channels. Now, at that each channel, there is an increase on top of cost. This thing. So people are just making money from NNPC sweat. That is just the truth and the honest.
So what can be done to change this? If
What can be done now
is aware of this.
What can be done now is to make sure that we have a functional refinery, which has been the main root of the crisis.
Okay, before we go into this issue of refineries, because we know, yes, some of the things that can be done. There are times when we actually have very, extended periods of no scarcity, where the product is just out there in the markets. You go, pass by filling petrol stations, you see the kerosene pump, it's pumping, it's being sold at perhaps 50. At perhaps
there
50.
Was no, not 50.
Okay, even if it wasn't at 50, yes, it was available. It was available. Yes. There was no scarcity.
Yes.
So So I'm thinking, why can't those periods? Why can't this be sustained?
I will tell you. You see, there is a crisis on this subsidy issue since August. And that is why, you see, it's a log of issues. Now, NNPC, according to what I found out about 3 weeks ago, has not issued, or federal government or PPRA has not issued license to importer to import fuel. I reliably gather. And what we are relying now on is what we have in the reserves. So the marketers have not been issued license to import. Even the fourth quarter we are now, there is no license for it. So we rely on the reserves that the marketers have in their stock, based on this subsidy overspending, over release of subsidy. The National Assembly has been fighting over 240 billion budget and overshooting it to 1.something trillion. So because of the gap, the federal government is careful in giving license to importer to go ahead and import even fuel.
Pending the outcome of this period.
No, not even pending. In order not to cause confusion or cause more deficit to the system. Because right now the budget, the federal government has overshoot the
budget
subsidy,
for the subsidy,
by about 1.3 trillion from 240 billion. So if again in our license for people to go and import for fourth quarter, by the end of the year we are looking at something like 2.something trillion, which will have been too much for the economy to bear. So because of that, there is gap now for kerosene to get to the market, to the consumer. So there is no product available. And the NNPC that is importing this product is selling. And if NNPC doesn't have enough as at when we are talking now, a little they are rationing to the public now. It's selling at 40, let's say 50 naira to the public. At the end of the day, it sold to the consumer at a exorbitant price, more than double amount the marketer bought from the NNPC, which is too highly expensive.